What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. Columbus, Ohio, April 17th, and we kicked off the show with Braun Strowman, which a lot of people I kind of saw online tonight talked about that his audio was kind of lowered because, everyone was cheering it last week when he pretty much killed Roman Reigns, but it looked like he got more boos out there, and he said he was proud last week that he broke Roman Reigns in half, which, even though I thought more people cheered than they booed for him, but he said he left Roman Reigns in an ambulance and a separated shoulder and cracked ribs, and he won't be on this show tonight. And he put the locker room, he's a monster among men or something like that. Until Kurt Angle came out and he says, you know what? I see the point you're trying to prove, but you've done enough damage. And Strowman said there'll be more damage to come. But Kurt Angle pretty much went on and said that, Reigns pretty much, said about what happened before with the show went off the air and everything. And he wanted to give Strowman a match, which will probably mean payback. So it'll be Strowman versus Roman. And Strowman said this will be Roman's funeral. And it'll be in 2 weeks, so Roman versus Strowman again. Until Strowman talked about tonight. And Angle said, you ought to be suspended again, like he said. But he gave him the night off and stuff. And Strowman said he wanted more competition. Angle said, or else what, until Strowman left and walked away in. Even though more people cheered, they booed at him, but they turned to go more boos than cheered. Especially people were very happy they took him out last week. Chris Jericho went against Samoa Joe. Good match. Joe pretty much got on the mic then and talked about, the designated target that is Seth Rollins, and he's going to be doing his benefactor Triple H and stuff, and you're going to do what you did to him and Stephanie McMahon. As Rollins stood on the table and says, it'll be a personal job. He tried to cost him my career because payback is a bitch, as he said. Which I was surprised to see Samoa Joe go over clean here on Jericho, especially Jericho's heading to a big title match in a few weeks, so it's kind of odd for him to lose right there. And pretty much Joe went over, which Joe does look like a badass monster. I understand that. I just didn't think he would beat him clean. I thought it would be like a screwy finish or something. But, yeah, he's got a title match in 2 weeks. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes. I'm surprised he didn't at least do something to protect him tonight. Gallows and Anderson were heading to the ring. Was supposed to face the Drifter. Well, the Drifter pretty much was playing the guitar then. And Golden Truth was supposed to face him, but Strowman beat them up until Finlay and Noble and Adam Pearce had to come stop him then. One weird thing, and this is for SmackDown, and I don't understand what's going on tomorrow night with SmackDown and stuff. There's a 6-pack challenge, and I'm going to speak more of this tomorrow. I'm sure I'm going to get more in depth in this tomorrow, but when I saw who was supposed to be competing for a #1 contender spot for the WWE title, I'm looking at the names, I'm like, look if half these guys doesn't even deserve a title shot. Sami Zayn, he just got there, but I get it. Mojo Rawley, God knows why. What do they see in this guy? This whole Gronk thing is ridiculous. I think it's trash. I don't know why he's in this match. Dolph Ziggler, I can barely get behind this guy anymore, or I'm not even going about a heel thing. Even his whole heel turn sucked. So hopefully him going against Nakamura will get some type of heel heat, because nobody cared if he beat up Kalisto or Cruz and kicked Lawler in the chest. It's like no one cared for Ziggler. It's just like, just screw him. Rowan just got back, but he's still kind of a sacrificial lamb. They somewhat killed Luke Harper's momentum in a way, especially putting him against Wyatt, and he just kind of faded away from this whole Wyatt thing, which he was on kind of fire at first and made him a big contender, but he just kind of lost his momentum a little. Jinder Mahal, this man loses more matches than he wins, but he's getting a title shot. But AJ is going for a #1 contender for the U.S. title, but not the WWE title. No Styles in this, but he's going for the U.S. belt. So, and I'm looking at all these people in this match for tomorrow night. A lot of the people in this movie lose more matches than they win. But I'll speak into more of that tomorrow. But I think that's strange of who they put in there, especially Mahal. This guy loses more matches than he wins. For Rowan, everybody in this whole thing. So what makes them so deserving for a WWE title shot? It makes no sense. Strowman pretty much after he beat up the Golden Truth, referee told him he had to go, and he says I'll leave when I want to, and he looked the rest of that, you got a problem with that? So yeah. Gallows and Anderson were in the ring, and he said Strowman gave pretty much Golden Truth the United Airlines treatment. Yeah, that was original. That was lame. But he told, pretty much Gallows said he'll tell Angle to get some nerds in the locker room so we can take him out. Enzo and Cass came out, which we've seen them versus Gallows and Anderson. God knows how many times at this point. I should also note that, and they said this on commentary, we won't be seeing the revival, I think, till July, maybe now, because Dash Wilder broke his jaw at a NXT house show. I don't know who he went against, but they say he broke his jaw, so it's only one of them, and Dash won't be back till July, so it's a shame, but he broke his jaw. But Enzo and Cass did go against Gallows and Anderson. Match was kind of, it was okay. It was a good match. I didn't understand the finish in a way, especially Anderson pretty much looked like he was getting a suplex on Enzo, but threw him into the top turnbuckle and pretty much fell down and pinned him. But just a bit of an odd creative finish, but we've seen these two face too many times. It's kind of hard to care in a way. There are multiple promos for the women in the Fatal 4-Way match night for the determine the championship. The women's championship, might I ask. Miz and Maurice are out here for Miz TV, which I still don't know why they have Miz on Raw. Until Dean Ambrose came out and interrupted him, and, you know, since this is Ohio, and we got a lot of people from Ohio in that state. You know, he said Miz is from Cleveland, and I'm from Cincinnati, and he let an Ohio chant, chant and everything, and Miz, you know, told Ambrose he doesn't look a part of a WWE wrestler, he's a disgrace, and that fans like you and stuff. Went from, you had all this momentum, you were drafted #1 for SmackDown, you were headlining SummerSlam, you were a WWE champion, but then you lost it in 6 months. You barely even fell off the rip, you weren't even on WrestleMania nearly. Even though I kind of find it funny, at least he won his match on the pre-show when you lost mercilessly bad to Cena. But Miz pretty much told Ambrose, you know, it's people like you why the glass ceiling doesn't break because he's lazy and complacent. And Ambrose pretty much talked about, you know, the heart and everything. You know, I'm Dean Ambrose. I'm not a brand. I'm not this. I'm not any of these suits in the back. I'm Dean Ambrose. And, you know, I don't care if I wrestle for 20 people or 100,000 people. I'm the IC champion. And I beat you for that title. Until Maurice pretty much called Ambrose a dirty street rat and everything. You know, all because you have the title doesn't make you a real champion. It's the man that makes you champion. She went on to say, until Miz started talking again, and Dean Ambrose took off his jacket and belt and emptied his pockets and took everything off until he started attacking Miz then and stuff and started beating him up. Maurice tried to get involved and slap him. Miz tried to go with skull crushing finale, but Dean Ambrose pretty much was his dirty deeds, but he left out of there then. And you know, it's funny how they're going back to this feud with these two, especially two guys that were just drafted off SmackDown are now back in a feud they were probably maybe a few months ago. So why the IC title was on Dean Ambrose to begin with. So it's like we get two SmackDown guys in a feud with each other already after they just left SmackDown. So we're kind of back to this whole feud again. Nothing wrong with it, but Dean Ambrose once again, I want to call him not a comedian, Dean Ambrose. I'm not even calling him a lunatic fringe anymore because there's nothing really lunatic about him when I look at it. It's like he's being more funny than he's being a lunatic. But it was nothing much from them. I don't know, Miz was good on the mic, I'll say that. But some people think they were taken from the sorry, what's the word for this, especially with Miz. I don't know why they put him on Raw. And some people they took it from these Austin podcasts who call him lazy and stuff, but I don't know why. I don't think this feud will go that much nowhere. It looks like Miz, it's already hard to believe in this guy, right? Especially he kind of lost a lot of momentum after the whole Cena thing, because Cena said what he did and pretty much destroyed him. Braun Strowman was in the back, dragging Kalisto, and he threw him into a trash can where we probably would never see him after this show tonight. until Big Show knocked him into the wall, and he told Braun Strowman to pick on someone your own size. I was like knocking him down like a 5th grader and stuff. Said, pick him up with pick on someone your own size. T.J. Perkins went against Jack Gallagher. Gallagher took a nasty bump back, like falling out of the ring, nearly on his head. But it was a good match. Well, it was an okay match. I still think the crowd doesn't still give a crap about the cruiserweights. Perkins pretty much got involved after Aries shot to stay on the apron, but Neville took him out and hit the detonation kick for the win on Gallagher, which will probably be a tag team match tomorrow with all 4 of these guys most likely. I didn't really say anything about 205 tomorrow night. They ain't really watch 205 anyways. So that'll go down then. Akira Tozawa was trying to follow Cruz in the back, and Cruz was having to be on Raw. He's about to get fodder and everything until Titus showed up and congratulated him. And you know, Cruz wants to make an impact on Raw. You know, it's all about the hard work. He wants to knock it down. But Titus told him about the Titus brand. You need the Titus brand. You know, you be the Apollo Cruise. You fans will go on the Apollo Cruise, all right? An Apollo Cruise, as in a boat and stuff. They told him to give him his car and thinking about, which I don't know where this is going with this Titus brand. And once again, even on Raw, Apollo Crews has nothing for him going on here. SmackDown was already bad enough, but even Raw looks like it's about to be worse, especially they're putting him with this whole Titus brand crap. It's very lame, and it's very bad, and it just sucks. It just freaking sucks. Matt and Jeff broken Matt Brother Nero, but not broken Matt Brother Nero, as Matt did not speak anything broken, even though he made a couple words here and there. He wasn't technically broken. And talk about the last thing in the WWE, the lights are brighter, the pyro's louder. There's a different crop of wrestlers, some after that most they never faced before. And Jeff said, you know, he started, you know, you have your emotional WrestleMania and stuff, but you know, we were part of the new era on Raw. So shame since Cesaro showed up and talked the match at WrestleMania 17. And Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy, him versus Jeff Hardy is a dream match, and without ladders and stuff. So it'd be an honor to defeat the Legends, payback for those titles. But Matt said, you know, we don't need ladders to win these titles and stuff. We'll prove it out there in the ring. So the Hardys talk. Matt wasn't really broken, but yeah, they've been broken ever since they've been doing backstage interviews. I think they did that a few weeks ago too, on the after show. Fatal 4-Way, Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Sasha. I feel bad for Mickie James because she's not getting the... She gets no pop and she's a legend, and they don't care about her. SmackDown or Raw, she gets like no reaction when she comes out. Same with Nia Jax, but she's been getting no reaction for so long, it's even hard to care. Alexa Bliss got a big pop, most likely because she's from Columbus, Ohio, and her and Sasha Banks kind of had a stare down. So it was a good match, and usually the person that's from their hometown loses, but the crowd did pop after Alexa Bliss got in there and stole the pin after she tried to Sasha tried to deliver the bank statement and everything, but Mickie James pretty much broke it up, and Nia Jax took her out, and you know, the Samoan drop on Sasha, and Bliss pretty much stole the win. So we'll see how Alexa Bliss versus Bayley goes. I'm probably she got a title shot already, but hey, the person from their hometown won this time, so I'll give it that. Big Show, and Braun Strowman will be in a match tonight in the main event, so that's gonna go down. Kurt Hawkins was talking about a promo about something with Professor X, and so Finn Balor, which pretty much is medically clear now. Squash match against Kurt Hawkins. I think it was probably maybe able to see if he was just okay, especially from the concussion he took last week from Mahal right there, which is very much moving to SmackDown now. But they checked. I guess he's good. He's checked out. Maybe it was just a test to see if he was just okay, that he can still do a match. And he'd be straight. Mike Rowan was talking to Chris Jericho until, you know, Rowan thought about him losing the match against Samoa Joe. And Jericho pretty much went on to say, you know, it's so shame of losing to Joe. But he was distracted by his match coming with Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens thought he's the better face of America. But they want the face of Jericho. Frame it in, man, even though both of these guys from Canada to begin with. So I don't know what to talk about the face of America. They're both from Canada. And pretty much Mike Rome talked about his name and everything. Tom, he got his Tom again. Are you Mike or are you Tom? They said, you wanna know what happens when you get your name wrong there, Tom? And he's about to put him on the list. But Elias Sampson playing guitar, but Jericho pretty much went on and say, you know what? You're off the hook. Let's talk about these silly strummers right here. I want to walk during my promo. You just made the list. So he put Elias Sampson on the list and for walking with a guitar playing, interrupting his interview. Bray Wyatt, once again, cut his promo about the House of Horrors. I'm going to drive Randy Orton to hell from the sky, pain, fear, whatever, and I don't know. It's like I said with Bray Wyatt before. Everything this guy says is hard to believe in because cuts a good promo, don't get me wrong, and gets it hyped up, but it's almost like we know he's going to lose in the end. That's the problem. It's like he just loses, and no one cares. Well, I wouldn't say no one cares, but it's like we get into this pattern now. He just loses all the time, so it's almost like what's the point? Because we know his plan will fail. Cuts a good promo, but it's like, dude, we know you're gonna lose because listen, I'll say this right here. Bray Wyatt's not winning that WWE title at Payback. It's not happening. No way, no how. Especially now he wants to go after Balor and stuff. He's not winning the title. I seriously doubt it. It's not happening. He will not win the championship. And you know, it's just hard to leave him Bray Wyatt and stuff. Some people think Matt Hardy needs to be booking this or something, but hey, what do I know? But like I said, good promos is hard to care. Alicia Fox was playing the clips of Dana Brooke laughing at 205 Live, the cake exploding and stuff, until Emma talked about Dana Brooke laughing, and Brooke said it wasn't true until Fox went crazy mode and left, and Emma and Dana Brooke stood together and, you know, pretty much walked away from each other after that. Jeff Hardy went against Cesaro. Good match, nothing long. Nothing special here. That was a really good match. Really fun match. Jeff went over a Swanton Bomb and they shook hands, kind of reluctantly, but they shook hands. We'll see what happens in the next week or two. They were about to check on the Golden Truth until Slater and Rhino showed up. They're from SmackDown too. And, you know, Slater he wasn't drafted last year, but now he was the first SmackDown Tag Team Champion. And, you know, that's why I'm here to the champs and stuff. We're here to do it again. Until Braun Strowman walked by. I don't know why Rhino's acting scared. Those guys in ECW, for God's sake, some fiend to take him out. But Braun Strowman went against Big Show, which a good match. Was it better than the first one? I thought the first one was mostly better, but it was an enjoyable match. I liked it. They both went in pretty much hitting finishes and stuff. But I think we knew what the big finish was the announce breaking the ring, standing on the apron. You know, we can all go back to Brock versus Big Show back in 2003. Even Undertaker, even Big Show versus Mark Henry. I think it was in Vengeance in 2011. But I think people knew the spot was coming. They just kept teasing it multiple times until he's ready to hit the spot. And now that's all Big Show doing a lot of talking. But they hit the spot. I think I wish the crowd would have got louder tonight. This whole crowd was very flat tonight on this show. So Columbus was not hot that much, but they were very quiet. But they did pop when Alexa Bliss came out. But Strowman pretty much got up. I don't it made no sense for me to do what Brock did and just lay there until it was time to get up after the show. But he got up and he walked out of there and leaving Big Show in the pile of his own heat. A pile of heat and stuff. But yeah, it was a good match. Pretty much to end off the show. As well as the main event again. I didn't think they would do that, but they broke the ring like Brock and Big Show. You know, nobody pretty much won right here, so I guess it makes both men look strong and that they'll have another match in the future. But Strowman pretty much says have competitions in the final. You know, what's his name? Is Sami Zayn talking about who's Strowman going after? Yes, Roman Reigns. I don't know why the mind skipped right there. We probably will look for him next thing. But it was a good, like I said, good episode of well, I wouldn't say good episode. It was a passable one maybe, but Main event, like I said, good main event, and we got saw the ring exploding and breaking all over the place. So the crowd did react. I wish it could have been louder, but at least they did react and say this is awesome. I guess a couple of fans were jumping in and out of the seat. Strowman walked off into, leaving after that. But that's my review of Raw. I'm out of here. See you guys later, and peace out. Check my reviews, live reactions, and other stuff. But like I said, I'm out here. See you guys later. Peace.